The following bout is presented by L&M Body Shop. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the strike-off welterweight division. Introducing first, the man standing to my right and fighting out of the blue corner. He represents Method MMA and steps inside the cage with a professional record of 1-0. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 169 and 1/2 pounds, fighting out of Forest Hill, Maryland, Jason O.D.B. Brown. His opponent awaits across the cage and fights out of the red corner. He represents Evolve Academy, a veteran of 5 professional bouts. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in officially at 169 and 1/4 pounds, fighting out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, Dameron the Bruiser Kirby. Your referee, Mike King.
Here we go, another barn burner potentially. We have in the red corner, Dameron Kirby versus in the blue corner, Jason Brown. These are 2 physically imposing athletes, and I don't expect this fight to go long, Zaya.
Dameron definitely a spectacular athlete with one-punch power, but ODB in the house again, pulled off a huge win in the last strike-off, proving that age is nothing but a number. He's a very talented striker, very talented on the ground, good wrestling. So Dameron really has his hands full. Even though he's the younger fighter, he definitely cannot underestimate not only the skill but the pace of Jason Brown.
Yeah, both of the fighters are feeling out on the feet, but they don't look uncomfortable at all. They're throwing out feints. They're trying to get each other's timing and distance. Dameron is a little bit more active, but of course that comes with the age. And like I said, ODB, never count him out. I mean, he has danger on his feet and danger on the ground too. So let's see how this fight progresses.
Dameron definitely more of a striker, very good stand-up, kickboxing style, very powerful punches, coming off of a huge 20-second knockout win not too long ago. And as you can see, the athletic ability from Dameron Kirby, but again, Jason Brown and the guys from Method MMA are very well known for their power on the ground. They transition into submissions very well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful transition. He went for an inverted triangle. It's just like a triangle choke if you've seen it before, but it's actually on the other side where the person is actually pointed downward. But Kirby is out of it, and he's looking to get down position against the cage, which may be some bad times for ODB.
Dameron is definitely out. He just needs to free his arm. Either way, he's no longer in danger. Now from here, it's going to be Dameron's job to make sure that he maintains the right position, because you don't want to let a guy like Jason Brown off of a submission only to go right back into one. You need to make sure that you stay in the right position, keep that side mount, keep that pressure, keep him up against the cage where you limit his space.
That seems to be the case here. Oh yeah, and Dameron finally clears himself out completely. And
he's down, pretty good spot. Jason Brown seems to be using the cage here. It's up to Dameron to push Jason away from the cage. Now that he has his feet to push off of, you got to take that away immediately, because you can really generate a lot of force pushing off the cage like that if you're the bottom man.
Maybe get a sweep or at the very least an escape. But it looks like Dameron's trying to isolate an arm possibly and land some more strikes from the top.
Dameron doing a good job of maintaining his position on top. Doing a good job of really smothering. Looks like he's kind of searching for an Americana on that far side. Not sure if he's really in the right position for it, but at least he has Jason Brown on the defense. From here, Dameron could attempt to advance the position, but it's difficult to tell whether Jason Brown actually had an attempt there at an Americana from the bottom of his own, or if he was just kind of faking it to distract Dameron.
Yeah, but Dameron's out of it now, though.
He's definitely out. He's coming down with some shots. He could potentially have the opportunity to stomp elbow like he just did. Maybe a few more of those would kind of knock Jason Brown into a more defensive position, but until then, Jason still seems to be active on the ground, and Dameron seems to be holding out on top.
See, this is what I like to call smart ground and pound. I mean, you may not be able to see it at home, but he's landing small shots here and there, especially with the elbow. He's getting enough gravity to drop down on there, apply it with his weight so that these strikes actually count. And if this wears down on Brown, this could be a long round for him if he doesn't get out of his position.
Well, The best thing about smart ground and pound Amani is that you don't lose your position throwing it. A lot of people don't realize just how much you forfeit the position that you're in order to land these big ground and pound shots. Whenever you throw a big winding shot from the ground, you're giving your opponent an opportunity to work up your body, to move down towards your legs, to make space, because you have to create space in order to get a big shot off. If you take those short pops, then you're able to maintain your position. Just like Dameron has not only maintained, but is beginning to advance. He had a knee on the belly attempt. He lost that attempt. Jason Brown now locked up a nice half guard and looks like he's kind of trying to move down the leg in order to stretch out Dameron.
Yeah, that was a beautiful transition that happened. I mean, Dameron was trying to switch from the ground and pound to the Americana and then get the knee on to mount, but ODB saw that coming and got the half guard, which is a little bit better for him, but right now it's not faring too well unless he can get a sweep or something.
Well, playing half guard in MMA is a very, very tricky game because you really don't leave yourself a lot of opportunity to strike. You give your opponent a lot of space to land his shots on top. So if you're going to throw in some half guard, it's in your best. It's going to be best for you to either smother him like Jason is doing right now, or to try to get a nice deep hook in and work your way towards the back as soon as you can.
So he survived the round. Let's see what happens next. Welcome to Strike Off 7. We're here in Annandale, Virginia, at the Richard Hurst Cultural Center. And we're right back into it. Looks like Dameron controlled the ground in that part, but you see Jason Brown, he's not out of the fight. He is a wily veteran, and he's ready to take it anywhere he needs to take this fight home. Oh, no. There we goes an inverted low blow.
Gonna need some time here for Dameron to walk that one off. Seems like he really connected very hard on that low blow. Obviously not on purpose, but at the same time, it's gonna take him a minute to bounce back from something like that.
Yeah, I heard that. It sounded like somebody was trying to juggle a cantaloupe on the ground. Yeah, give him a... And we're right back into it.
Jason Brown obviously coming out very aggressive, knowing that he lost that first round. Although he definitely had his moments where he was still very dangerous, Dameron with that big overhand right, that's his bread and butter right there. Those quick shots from the outside with big knockout potential if he can land the shot cleanly. That's exactly what he did. Jason Brown just walked straight through it. Question is, how many more can Jason Brown walk through like that? There's number 2. Great transition there from Dameron. Great setup by Dameron. If he can keep that type of volume up when he's in the inside and finish off with that big overhand right that Jason Brown is obviously not able to catch, whether because it's too slow or maybe because Jason Brown has already had some damage to that far eye.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail, though. I think it's a speed difference right there because Dameron was able to see that kick, catch it, and like I said, throw the counter. So maybe Brown just doesn't have the speed to actually pull back from his punches where that counter is just waiting right there. And also, but Kirby is not going in too tough. He sees that Brown is winding up for a nice counter. So he's picking his shots wisely and landing points.
Dameron is definitely fighting at a smarter pace than Brown. Brown seems to be kind of chasing him a little bit, throwing a little bit more wild. And every time he goes in there wild like that, Dameron seems to be taking advantage of that. He has a little bit of a better eye. Very poor takedown attempt on Jason Brown's part. Maybe he's beginning to fatigue a little bit at this point. Oh,
whoa,
nice
that is old school technique. Whoa, old school technique. A scissor takedown into a heel.
Wow, you definitely don't see that every day. But Dameron seems to be defending the position well, but that does not mean that he is safe by any means. If he's able to keep his feet triangled, then he at least avoids that initial heel hook. The problem is the foot that is on top now is 100% available for a straight ankle lock. Only thing that Dameron can do right now is try to continue to roll, because if he gets stuck in that position, he cannot give Jason the leverage to pull down on that foot. Right now, seems to already have the foot pretty deep into the armpit, which is exactly where you don't want it to be. Dameron coming down with some shots on the thigh, but that's only because you can tell that he's in danger and he's hoping that he can loosen up that grip a little bit of Jason Brown.
See, we were talking earlier about the catch-as, catch-can shorts that Jason Brown is wearing, and they're known for their leg locks. And that's the first thing he jumped for.
That is most definitely a catch-as, catch-can move right there. He drops straight down into that heel hook. He saw the position. Actually, now looking back, he set it up pretty well by putting both of his feet to the side. He looked like he was in a bad clinch. Really, I think he was just setting up that jumping heel hook.
Yeah, and that's a good point for people at home that don't know. Catch as, catch can is a submission wrestling style. Like jiu-jitsu is known for submission wrestling. Catch as, catch can is another style.
It is a version of submission grappling. There is no gi, so it is just shorts and a t-shirt, and any submission pretty much is legal. Dameron seems to be almost out here, and he's out. Great job by Dameron because he was in a very, very dangerous position by a guy that obviously knew exactly what he was doing. Dameron now once again solidifying himself in the side mount position, working that ground and pound, bringing those elbows down heavy.
Those are damaging elbows. That is really opening up the
eyebrow. Jason Brown
eyebrow.
now has a big cut over the top of his left eyebrow. Dameron is going for blood at this point. He did not like the fact that he was almost submitted just now, and now he's really looking to finish with a big TKO.
But still trying to maintain position. Even though he lost it, Brown got back to half guard, but this may be a repeat of the first round.
Once again, Jason Brown does recover that half guard, but he's not doing very much with it. Now he's doing very little bit of smothering as he was in the last round. And that left eye is completely split open at this point.
Yeah, that's looking bad. The ref is going to have to take a long, hard look at that. And like we were talking about earlier, fatigue is setting in, and some people don't understand that fatigue gets multiplied when you take strikes. You get more tired quicker.
Absolutely. I mean, taking a beating is much more difficult than giving a beating. When you're giving a beating, your adrenaline is pumping. You're the one that's not getting hurt. When you're taking a beating, you are not only getting hurt, but you still have to punch back. So you're doing twice as much work.
So let's see how the work continues in the third round. Welcome to Strike Off 7. We're here in Annandale, Virginia, at the Richard Hurst Cultural Center to look at the best fighting in the Mid-Atlantic region. I'm your host, Imani Mulaya, and I'm here with my co-host, Alejandro Zea. So it looks like they're going to stop the fight. The doc doesn't like what he sees. The cut on Brown is just too big to continue, so Dameron takes the fight.
Omani, the doctor has stopped the fight due to the cut on Jason Brown's head. A spectacular performance on his part. He did not want the fight to end, but the doctor had to do what was safest for him. Let's go to Mike for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a doctor stoppage. One of our competitors is unable to answer the bell for the third round. Your winner by technical knockout, Dameron the Bruiser Kirby.
Well, we're going to check back with some more fights right here at Strike Off 7 after this commercial break.